Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for
What are bib overalls? Wouldn't they cover my cleavage? I don't think that would be a very good idea. Maybe it would be. Can I get bib overalls somewhere? We call those, I think, dungarees. Dungarees, I think. Hi, guys. I hope everybody's doing good today. I apologize for being a little bit late. I am doing my, you were wrong. What did you guess? I am doing my absolute damnedest to, as Ryan says, being so lazy picking videos that I am recording court over here. I'm just joking. Anyways, I hope that everybody is doing well today. This is going to be split into 2 or 3 parts. I'm not sure yet. It'll really depend on how fast we can get through this. We have testimony that's going to come from mom. Testimony is going to come from dad. Then we are going to hear lawyers talk a lot and the judge make a ruling. But that'll be over the next 2 to 3 days, depending on how quickly we can get through it. And for the next 3 days, it'll be morning shows, no evening shows, just so you guys know. I will be exchanging my services for money for the next 3 evenings. That sounds way worse than it is. Anyways, oh gosh, I figured that, Ryan. But if you stick around long enough, you'll note that I already think and acknowledge my laziness when it comes to some videos. What that means for me is that I don't watch them first, for the most part. I either record them and maybe listen out of the corner, out of the corner of my ear, or I don't watch them at all, and we watch them and we don't know. We don't know until we do. But that's how it goes. Anyways, I hope everybody is doing really good. I have a focaccia loaf that is on its second rise right now. I don't want to disturb it. You know how bread can get. But very excited about that. What do you like to have with focaccia bread? That's what I would love to know in the chat. Tell me right over there. Hi, Casey Carey. How are you? And Beverly's here, and Vicky is probably watching, maybe listening, recovering from her eye procedure. John's here, Sherry's here, Bill, the 12th man, love it. And of course, Mikey with his check mark, gracing us. We love that. Thank you so much. What is that kind of bread? Focaccia. It's like a flatbread that you put dimples in. Hi, Rose. A flatbread that you put dimples in? I don't know. It's not quite flat, but it's not, like, huge. Look it up. Look it up. Let's travel by Flu Powder all the way over here, where I look much more pale for some reason. And then we're going to... by the way, these got deleted right after. This judge leaves up a lot of his cases, but he didn't leave these up, so I was very glad that I recorded them. Sometimes that's just luck of the draw. This morning I was in a meeting and I saw something go and I was like, well, I can't really get that right now, so had to leave it. Sorry, this is the start. Okay. This is the start. This is the start. Oh.
Heather Duarte.
hold on, please. The start, but we're gonna like jump up a little bit. Oh.
This is an amended, motion,
Hold on.
I'm gonna
She
reset
gets-
it for
she
January the
gets-
seventh.
Yeah, January the 7th.
So
That
please
one
let
goes
your
ahead.
lawyer know, January the seventh.
I know, sometimes he forgets,
thank you.
Rose, don't tell him. Okay, this lady's jacket, I was watching her a little bit on and off. Oh, I got another judge on my other screen, sorry. I was watching her a little bit, and she's got like this, it's like a cape, a cloak. She
That's
readjusts it a lot.
And you also the Lyman versus Blue matter, Your Honor, on the docket today in this case. Okay, well, we have a new order resetting it for April 10th, so look, and I'll pass that forward, so I open the space tonight. Thank you.
Come on, what's happening?
I think this case
Oh, here we
overall,
go. That's the defendant, that's the mom with the red hair. I know some of you like redheads. Feisty redheads, after all.
So this is a motion to adopt the temporary parenting plan.
yes, Your Honor, it's my motion, that I filed on behalf of Ms. Newman.
Any estimate of the time we're gonna be involved in this?
Well, it's mostly the dispute, I believe, is on the day-to-day schedule. This is just a temporary parenting plan to get us from here to there. I think this case overall, it's a divorce case, it really is a custody case, and whether or not their timeline has whatever interest is in the marital residence, there's not a whole lot more to this divorce case.
Right.
So we're just looking for a temporary parenting plan. My client is asking for a week on, week off.
And my client supposedly got a week off. Mother moved out in June, and since June, she's only exercised 51 days with his children. Father's the one that's taking them to all of their appointments. Father's the one that sets up all their doctor's appointments, dental appointments, takes the extracurriculars. He's done everything with these children and always has. And so he opposes the plan. He's,
And neither one of you have answered my question about how much time it's gonna take to try this thing.
It shouldn't be more than, a max an hour, Judge.
All right, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna have you both sign it.
Spoiler
because I don't
alert,
believe it's
much
gonna
more
be
than
that
an
quickly,
hour.
we'll see. All right.
Much more than an
So,
hour,
Ms.
which is why
Turner,
this is
your
part one.
motion, so you may proceed and call your first witness. Newman, if you'll come around, please.
Yay, 10 whole months. Casey Carey, appreciate that. Oh, here comes mom. We're all gonna
Step up,
raise our right
hand,
hands.
Be placed on the road.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. You state your name for the court.
Martha Newman.
And Ms. Newman, you were married to Mr. Newman, who's seated here at council table. How long were you all married?
4 years.
And you heard his,
Drop the phone down a little bit. These
Yeah,
things
fix
aren't
that fucking
great.
mic,
You have to
please.
speak almost directly into them, and we're recording everything.
you heard, his counsel say that you left the marital residence, I believe it was July?
In June.
June, okay. And we're not getting into the grounds, but why did you leave the marital residence in June?
Because we do not agree on, I guess, the way West South should be and how South should act.
Now, you have children with Mr. Newman? How many children do you have with him?
I watched it.
And what are their names and ages, please?
Scarlett Newman, she's 7, and William is 8.
Okay. And you said biologically too. Is there another child that was in the home?
There were 3, one has gone off to college now, so there were 2 others.
Okay, and what were their names and ages?
There was Brianna Newman, she is 19. Kaylee Newman, who's in Burr right now, she's 14, and then James Newman is 12.
And did you have a relationship with those children?
Yes, in my prison for the last 10 years.
So tell me, when you left the marital residence in June, where did you go?
I went to my grandmother's
And where is your grandmother's house?
in Carlisle, next door to my mother.
And Carlisle is how far from,
About 15 minutes
and where is the marital residence located?
in Dover.
So is it 15 minutes apart from each other?
Yes, sir.
So your children go to school where?
Dover Elementary.
And since your separation in June, tell the court about what you and Mr. Newman have done with the children for you to see them and for him to see them.
So in June, when I first moved out, I didn't have the kids in my residence that much because my grandmother and grandfather, it was their residence I moved into, they got put in nursing home. So when I moved in, all of their stuff was still in there and I had to clear it out before we get ready for my kids to be able to come stay with me.
Okay. How long does that take?
Maybe a couple weeks. And then, I know we tried to be cordial, and I feel like for the most part we have. I'm not sure when we started doing a week on, week off basis, but, we did start doing that, and I believe it was around the beginning of the school year.
August timeframe?
I believe, I'm not 100% on that, I don't have my phone or calendar, but, and during that time, every time that he has the children, I respect his time with the children. But then every time that I have the children, he constantly harasses me to want to see them, want to talk to them, want to do this, want to do that. And then it's always something when I have the kids, always, oh, this is going on, can I have
Hi,
them? This is
Brooklyn.
going on, can I have them? And sometimes I do agree to let them have the children during my time for something that I believe that they're gonna enjoy.
And does Mr. Newman reciprocate in that respect when it's his time and you have things that you want to do with children?
I usually don't ask when it's his time because I respect the fact that it's his time.
So how many occasions do you think that that's occurred since you had the children coming to stay with you in August on a week off basis?
Almost every week, there's an instance where he asks.
And do you acquiesce to that?
Right.
Do you allow him to have additional time when he requests that?
Depending on the situations.
Okay. Would you ask the court for whatever time that the court orders for you today that he be ordered not to try to interfere on your time and not to request to have the children during that time?
Yes, ma'am, unless it's something that's, like a once in a year thing, like for example, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was my time with the kids on our week on, week off that we've been doing. He has family that comes in every year from out of state, so I allow him to have the children Thursday and Friday to spend time with those family members.
And did he ask for that?
Yes.
And you allow that? Okay. So when you've been doing the week on, week off, without him asking for the additional time, what days were you exchanging the children?
On Sundays,
Okay, and, what time on Sundays generally has that been?
we don't have a typical time set up. I guess it kind of just depends on what works for us because he works every other Sunday.
Okay, so are you asking that a specific time be set
Yes.
for the exchanges?
Yes.
And are you asking for a Sunday to Sunday? Okay, now you heard his counsel say that you've never been to the doctor for them, you've never taken care of them. Is that true or not?
No, ma'am, that's not true.
Okay, tell the court a little bit about what you have done as a parent during these children's lives.
Well, as I said, we've been together for 10 years, only married for 4. For the most part of our marriage, I was the one that took care of everything because for our relationship. Because for the first few years, I was a stay-at-home mother. When I came into our relationship, I stayed at home with this 2-year-old at the time. And then I believe it was the following year I got pregnant. I had our 2 children back to back. Was a stay-at-home mom up until my daughter was about 2. And that's when I went back into the workforce. When I went back in the workforce, I would still have time, to do stuff with the children. And for the most part, I have been the one, either me or his mother, to take the children to do these things. Now, he does participate in activities like extracurriculars, but he also excessively signs them up for extracurricular.
Okay,
Sometimes doing 2 sports during one season, like soccer and baseball, softball.
Has
And
that been an issue?
yes,
And are you asking the court to order that one sport per season for these kids, not to have multiple sports per season?
yes, ma'am.
You think that's in their best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
And does that also inhibit your ability to spend time with them when he signs them up for multiple schools?
Sometimes.
What do you do? What work do you do?
I would have to be in Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, and I work as a school resource officer.
So you're an SRO in Montgomery County?
Yes, ma'am.
What school are you assigned to?
Sangerville Elementary.
Okay, so, you drive from your home to Sango Elementary?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's that commute time for you?
About an hour.
Now, you have inquired with the Stewart County School System about, the bus transportation to multiple homes, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna pass forward to you a letter that I provided to Ms. Wilkerson.
That's
I'm sorry,
that's that letter is hearsay.
you objecting?
That letter is hearsay.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you're objecting to. What is the,
The letter says that with a court order, the buses can transport to two separate houses.
the objection is to the hearsay, which is a statement made out of the courtroom that's being introduced to prove the truth of that statement, so I would have to sustain the objection.
Are you asking the court to enter an order that sets out a week on, week off schedule for you and Mr. Newman?
Yes, ma'am.
And with that schedule, will the children be allowed to ride the bus to your house?
As long as he agrees to it, because that is what I was told by the superintendent of transportation.
Again, objection, that's hearsay.
You can't say what they've told you.
Sustain,
Have you asked him to sign off on the form that allows the children to ride the bus
Yes, ma'am.
to your house and his house?
Yes, ma'am.
And what has he told you?
He typically ignores the statement.
Has he said whether or not he would agree to sign off so the children can ride the bus to your house and his house?
No.
Are you asking the court to order that schedule so that they can ride to both houses?
Yes, ma'am.
Has him ignoring that prohibited you from spending additional time with your children and allowing them to ride the bus to your house?
Yes, ma'am. I'll say my mother has to get up every single morning to drive my children to school and pick them up every afternoon because they cannot ride the bus to my residence.
If they ride the bus to your residence, will your mother have to go drive them to school and pick them up from school every day on your days? Has she been doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what is your work schedule? When do you get to work and when do you get home?
I don't work typical schedule as an SRO. So, on a day where I don't have to work in the afternoon because we are.
School
required to
resource
work
officer, like
games
a school
in the
cop?
afternoon. So on a typical day when I'm not required to work in the afternoon, I get to work at 6:45 a.m. So I leave my residence at 5:45 a.m. And then I wouldn't get home until about 5 p.m.
And what time does the bus pick up and drop off at your house if they were allowed to ride there?
I believe the pickup is about 6:30 a.m. and drop off is 3:30 p.m.
So who is at your house to care for the children until you get home from work?
Either my mother or my father.
And do they have a grandparent relationship with your mother and your father? What does Mr. Newman do?
He is a patrol officer at Harris Police Department.
So you're both in the law enforcement. Prior to this case being filed, what was his work schedule?
He does the alternating schedule. So like whatever, he works 2 days on, 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 2 off. And so basically he's off every other weekend.
That he has, does he work at nights at all?
Yes, ma'am. Every 3 months his schedule changes.
Two
And so for 3 months he works night shift, 12-hour shifts from 6 to 6. And then for 3 months he works day shift. So it goes.
And this is what he's done for how long?
Since last year, maybe July or August of last year.
Is that how long he's worked for them?
He's worked there since, I believe, May of last year.
And is that in Paris, did you say, where is it? Okay. So he travels to work as well, is that right? Do you do your children's schoolwork with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So typically my daughter has, a book that she has to bring home every night. You know, it was the same thing for my son. He was in the same grade, so it's a book, typically like 4 or 5 pages to read every night. There's a paper that we're supposed to sign. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very good at signing it sometimes. But, they read that every night. I know my son works on his writing, but a lot of times they don't really get a lot of homework. I mean, they're in first and third grade.
And, have you always been the one to help them with their schoolwork?
Not always, no. I'll say throughout our marriage, I'll say I think we've done pretty good at equally helping out.
Are you asking the court to enter a 50-50 schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking that it be from Sunday to Sunday?
Yes, ma'am.
And the children be able to ride the school bus to your house and to his house? Do you think that's in your children's best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I have to ask.
Well, continue to cross-examine.
Cross exam time.
So when you leave the house at 5:45, you're not getting the kids up at 5:45 to get them ready, are you?
No, and I move at 5:20 every morning.
To get them ready?
Yes, ma'am.
And who do they stay with in the morning?
Same with my mother.
With your mother? They stay with your mother in the mornings before they get on the bus? What time's the bus come?
Well, I believe around 6:30, but they're not getting on the bus, so I don't know, because I was before that time.
If they were getting on the bus, so it would be 6.
I believe around 6:30.
And then you said on days you don't have to work games, then it's true you work games 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes 4.
Sometimes I try to schedule my time around when I don't have my children.
Okay, and those 2, 3, 4 times a week, how late are you at school?
If I'm working again, a lot of times I'm at school until about 9 p.m.
So you're getting home at like 10 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am.
And, Pam, did you show up to any of the parent teacher conferences this year?
No, ma'am, I believe, I was probably working those days.
And when my client tries to call the kids, do you let them talk to them on your weeks?
Not typically, no. If they had asked me to talk to him, I would let them. But he tries to talk to them every single night.
And at your house, what are the sleeping arrangements?
As of right now, they are currently sharing bedrooms.
And your official move out was June 11th, is that correct?
Hi,
I would have to check my
Hector.
calendar, but it's
Roughly.
roughly, yes.
And you didn't work, you get the summers off because you work those late
Thank
nights.
you,
Is that correct?
Brooklyn.
Are you aware that in July you only had these kids 4 days?
I am not aware, and I would have to go back to double check my calendar for that.
Okay, you think it happened 50/50?
I'm not sure.
And July was the month that he worked overnights, correct?
I'm not sure. I'll have to double check.
So you don't know where the kids were staying when he was working overnights?
Where they stay at. When he works overnights, they typically stay with the 14-year-old.
Okay, he stayed with his mother too,
Maybe on occasion.
but you don't know because you didn't have them in July. Is that
I'm not
correct?
sure, ma'am.
You're not sure if you had your kids?
I would have to check my calendar.
Okay, do you have your calendar with you?
Maybe not.
Okay,
Hi, Sean.
and then
Thank you, Naybell.
you say you've been doing a 50/50 week on, week off schedule. Are you aware that you only had 7, 8, about 9 days in October?
1 week I was on to a training for work. And that was during my leave. And I offered him the chance to have my children as leaving independent parents.
Where in November with your 50/50 schedule, you only had them for 10 days? In November?
I'm not sure, but that also goes back to him asking for days like Thanksgiving.
Now, how many doctor's appointments have you taken them to since you moved out?
Since I moved out, none.
Who takes them?
I'm not sure.
Okay, and extracurriculars. Don't the kids go to church every Wednesday? They're supposed to.
I don't know that I would say supposed to. but yes, they typically do.
But
Their aunt,
they've missed it every time on yours time, is that correct?
I didn't know that I was required to take to the church.
I didn't say that. I just asked that they missed it.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've missed the majority of their baseball and soccer practices and games, is that correct?
No, ma'am,
How many have you been at?
I'm not sure.
Tell me a little bit about William. Do you suspect William might be autistic?
I don't know that I would say autistic. I believe since he was born, we have always thought that he was slightly different. But up until this point, his father has never wanted to do any kind of testing.
Now, are you aware whether or not William's seen a counselor?
I would assume that he does now.
You would assume that you don't know.
I don't know.
We want to talk about the older children. There's a 14 and a 12-year-old in the home, correct?
That's right.
That 14 and 12-year-old, their mother passed away, is that right?
Yeah.
And you became the mother figure, is that correct?
That's right.
And how many times have you gotten those kids since you moved out in June?
None, because I have offered numerous times.
You offered once to take them to the zoo, is that correct?
No, ma'am. I have sent a message to the 14-year-old before, telling her that she's welcome to come to my house anytime. And then just a few weeks ago, when I stopped by to drop off my children, I also told her that she's welcome to come see me anytime she wants.
You haven't called them,
No, ma'am.
you haven't talked to them or hung out with them or seen them.
No, ma'am, because I'm not gonna force them to have a relationship with me.
And Mr. Newman has never said you can't see them.
No, ma'am.
Now,
Yikes, John. Adopt them
Would
out,
you
right,
leave 'em home at
Courtney?
7?
Yeah.
8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, however late you get home, who's taking care of your kids?
My mother and my father.
And before, when my client had that overnight shift, would he cook before he left for the night?
Sometimes.
And how much support have you paid towards these children in the last 6 months?
Support as far as what?
Child support, giving him any money, anything to help with the kids?
Why would I give him any money when I provide them clothes and shelter and food and do all that myself as well?
On your 51 days that you've had
I'm
since
not
the
sure
last
if
6
it's
months?
51 days.
So you have not provided any support except for winter with you.
No, ma'am.
It's true the kids have always been engaged in several extracurricular activities, is that correct?
Yeah.
And on Sundays, when that time fluctuates, that's because you go hiking every Sunday, correct?
Not every Sunday, no.
Most Sundays.
Some Sundays, yes.
As far as homework goes, when homework comes home, you're supposed to sign off on it every day, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you done that at all in the month of November?
I'm not sure, but I did say prior to when I was questioned by my attorney that I'm not very good at signing stuff like that.
So you're just not very good at signing. That's what your testimony is.
I'm saying there were times where I do forget to sign the paper.
Ma'am, do you recognize that document?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is it?
It's where my daughter gets a reading book at home every day.
Okay, and how many times have you signed that she actually did her homework on the time that you had her?
None. But according to this,
Yeah, Judge, this sheet only covers November 10th through December 8th, which we haven't got.
What is the sheet?
It's
Some sign off
it's
sheet.
the sign off sheet for the kid's homework that she doesn't.
And are you objecting to it as hearsay?
Object to his hearsay. Judge.
Sustain the objection.
All
And
these
then
lawyers
here
trying
you
to
find it
slip
you-
in hearsay.
That you have kids, correct?
Not according to that.
Now, object to that is hearsay.
Sustained,
I don't have any other questions.
redirect,
Yes, Your Honor. You said, Ms. Newman, that you're able to schedule the late nights that you work games on the weeks that he has the children. Is that what I understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So on the weeks that you have the children, you can be home.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that he switches his, job, his shift to overnight every 3 months?
Yes, ma'am.
So is it 3 months that he works overnight? And the kids are staying with the 14-year-old overnight?
That's my understanding, yes, ma'am.
And you said the doctor's appointments, prior to you leaving the marital residence in June, you and his mother carried the children to the doctor?
For the most part, yes.
And he did not.
Maybe on occasion.
Did you all go to church Wednesday nights when you all lived together?
No, ma'am.
Is this something new that's happened since you left the marital residence?
No, ma'am, they had already gone. I believe they started going to church sometime last year with their cousins. And his sister is the one that picks the children up and drops them off.
Okay, so he doesn't go to church with them.
Correct.
All right. You were asked about William and you're questioning whether or not he was autistic. Did Mr. Newman reach out to you and say anything about a counselor?
No, ma'am.
So he has actually,
He may have mentioned that he wanted to get him in counseling.
okay, and did you agree with that?
I didn't object to it.
But has he reached out to you and said, hey, I've signed William up for this counselor and here's who it is and here's where he's going?
No, ma'am.
With regard to the other children, do you consider to be a mother figure to them?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to see those children?
If they would like to see me.
Do you have concerns that Mr. Newman is influencing or manipulating?
Objection, absolutely.
the objection is to speculation. I'm gonna sustain it unless there's some other foundation. So
Based upon what you've observed when you've seen the children and reached out to them, have they been responsive to you?
His other children,
Uh-huh.
not really.
And when you went to the house to get your stuff, did you see that child and ask that child when you said that
They
child? could
never
come
will,
visit?
John.
How
They
did that
never
child
will.
react?
She kind of just shrugged it off and said, okay.
Was Mr. Newman there?
No, ma'am.
Did you feel like that's the regular relationship that you had had with these children?
No,
Now, you were asked, about Sundays. Does Mr. Newman also do things on Sundays?
sure most people do.
So are you just asking for a set time to exchange and maybe that'd be Sunday at 6 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am, and I would also like to say that typically when we do exchange, I am the one who almost always picks up and drops off our children.
Would you like to meet somewhere halfway? Okay. Now, with regard to phone calls, are you able to talk to the children during the time that they're with Mr. Newman?
I haven't asked.
How often would you like to talk to the children when they're with Mr.
I would say maybe a couple times
Newman? A week? And would you ask that Mr. Newman talk to the children how many times while they're in your care per week?
say a couple times a week.
Now, you say that you haven't asked. Tell the court what the dynamics of your relationship is with Mr. Newman regarding your access to these children. How does he treat you with regard to these children?
He treats me like they are his possession, like he is in control of them and he should be able to control anytime that he talk to them, anytime that he can see them, what they should or shouldn't be doing. And as I said, during my time, he harasses me constantly. So, can I see them? Can I talk to them? Can I do this?
And are you asking the court to put some sort of controls on that communication to the point of it not being harassment during their parenting time?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Recross. All right, sit down, man. We'll take a mid-morning recess for 15 minutes.
Oh, Ross.
And then we move on. We're gonna watch maybe a little bit more. We're not gonna finish the testimony of the dad today. I'm just letting y'all know, but I will allow us to continue.
All right, let's
But
go
just so you
proceed.
guys know.
Have any witnesses you wish to offer? All right.
If you'll stand right there, raise your right hand, face the clerk, please.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Watch that. I may ask you to speak more directly into this mic, or pretty good. Speak up, sir.
Mr. Newman, will you say your name for the record, please?
James Paul Newman Jr.
And Mr. Newman, where do you live?
Live here in Dover, 231 machines.
And was that the home that you guys lived in together with kids?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are the sleeping arrangements for kids in that house?
I have 5 bedrooms, so 1 room per child. I'm in my room.
Okay. So kids all have their own room?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you heard the testimony, I believe she moved out, beginning middle of June sometime, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And since that time, you've been keeping a calendar of the number of days that you've had the children and the number of days she's had the children, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know offhand, let's say in the month of June, how many days you had the kids versus how many days she had the kids?
Offhand, I believe I had them 25-ish days. She had them 5-ish days.
And during that time, was she working?
During June, no, I don't think so.
And in July, do you recall how many days you had the kids?
Roughly the same. I believe I had them 27 days and she had them 4 days, and by days and nights. 27 and she had them 4, I believe.
Okay, was she working during that
She might have been a little bit of July.
time? And during that time, did you work?
Yes, ma'am.
And during that time, was that during when your shift was an overnight shift? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and who watched the kids during that overnight shift?
I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of family close by, so between my mom, my sister, sometimes my daughter would help out.
Probably not. I don't do live trials very often. So I may cover part of it. Probably not, though. Probably not. Sorry, I got a judge yelling on the other screen here. That's being recorded as we speak, allegedly, in my opinion.
Combined effort.
But not not Miss Newman.
Correct.
And then at some point, did she approach you about doing a 50-50 schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, do you remember when that was?
I believe it was somewhere in September, maybe late September.
Do you remember in August, how many days you had the kids versus how many days she had the kids?
I do not recall. I do have
Right.
roughly 20 and 10.
Your Honor, may I use this to refresh his recollection?
You may.
Let's show you this. Mr. Newman, is that calendar that you keep to keep up with the days that you have the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you write those at the time that you actually had the children or the time that she actually had the children?
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't manufacture this afterwards?
No, ma'am.
Now, in August, if you could take a look in August, when did the kids start school? Do you remember?
On the fourth was David's freshman orientation, so it would have been right around the first week of August, or full of August.
And did you have the kids every week? And it appears like she had maybe weekends during August.
Of meeting, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
Staying, will leave the witness.
All right. What days did you have the children in August?
It appeared, I had the kids for the majority of August. From Sunday until, till Friday day, and she had them some of Friday night and Saturday nights. And then one Sunday night.
Would you get them back on Sundays?
Yes, ma'am.
And that went on for the entire month of August.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember the number of days?
I had them for 22 nights and she had them 9.
And then in September, you said she approached you about a 50-50 plan, is that correct?
I believe that's when it was.
Can you look at the first week of December and or of September and tell me how many days that she had the children?
She had them for 3 nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And then the following week, who had the children?
I did,
And then the following week, who had the children?
she did,
Following week, who had the children?
I did.
And then the following week, who had the children?
She had them most of it.
And then that led into October, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in October, if you will look, how many weeks in a row did you have the children?
3 weeks in a row.
And then, do you recall how many days you had the children?
I had them 21.
And then in November, how many weeks or how many days have you had the children?
21,
She has them, how many?
10.
So it looks like in September, you guys were doing week on, week off. Is that correct?
Partially.
But any of the other months were you doing week on, week off?
Not consistent. No, ma'am.
Now, since she moved out in June, who's been taking these kids to doctor's appointments?
I have them.
And prior to June, did you take the kids to doctor's appointments?
Yes, ma'am.
And since June, have there been any school meetings or anything like that that you've had to attend?
Yes, ma'am. And quite fond of
Sure.
me. So I have had, help with my, my mother, my sister, whatnot, have helped out in different events. But the vast majority of the doctor's appointments and all that have been me taking them. There was one instance I recall, I believe it was right at the beginning of school, for the first month in September, where I was able to call and talk to Scarlett. She sounded terribly sick, so I'd asked if they made an appointment for her because Monica had her. And they said no, so I went and scheduled the appointment.
I would, I don't know who he's talking about. They said, I would have checked a hearsay. I don't know who he's talking.
Let's establish who's saying what first, and then we'll determine whether it actually is hearsay.
Okay.
Ms. Wilkerson, if you'll clarify that.
Yes. William, who did you call in September?
I called my children.
Okay.
I called Monica to speak to my children.
Did you speak to Monica about Scarlett being sick?
I called Monica's mother. Monica was at work.
Okay. Did you get to talk to Monica at some point?
Via text, yes.
Okay, and did you ask her about Scarlett being sick?
We did have a conversation about Scarlett being sick.
Okay, and what came of that conversation?
I scheduled the appointment and I got Scarlett the next day and took her to the doctor. The extra broke.
Did you try to get Scarlett earlier?
Yes, I tried to give her that money.
And what were you told?
I was
No
not able.
objection, but who, I don't know who told him what.
No,
Okay.
Again, if you clarify who he's talking to, so that we'll know whether or not there's an objection.
Did you talk to Monica that night about getting Scarlett?
yes,
Did she allow you to get Scarlett?
no,
Now, as far as any of the children's parent-teacher conferences or anything like that, has Ms. Newman showed up to any of those?
no, ma'am. This time.
And as far as baseball and soccer practices and games, you heard her testimony that she wasn't sure how many she's attended or missed. Do you know how many she's attended and missed?
I would have to look back and do some calculations, but I would say to be generous for her, she's probably made it to a third of the games and practices.
Okay, are the games on the weekends?
Sometimes.
I want to talk a little bit about William. You heard testimony that she said he might be in therapy. William was actually in therapy, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you tell Ms. Newman about the therapies that he was in?
Yes, ma'am. We've had several conversations because we always suspected there was something off with William. We weren't sure if it was autism, but we thought he was possibly on the spectrum or there was something going on. I had never really taken mental health very seriously until I'd say really getting close to this summer. But we had conversations about it and yeah, I signed him up for some therapy. So
Okay.
he began seeing a counselor.
Did you tell Ms. Newman about those dates?
Yes, ma'am. I tell her what day and time it was and tell her she wanted to attend.
Did she ever attend or become involved in any way?
No, ma'am.
Right now, with your suspicion that William may be on the spectrum, are you trying to set him up to be evaluated?
Yes, ma'am. I've spoken with his teachers and with the counselor of the school and their family advocacy down at the school, as well as the doctors. So I'm waiting on a referral or not, I'm waiting on the scheduling through, I can't recall the name, American Global Alliance for his autism evaluation and radiation screening and all that, as well as the school, Mr. Daniel Burns, his and City Mars are scheduling all the through the school counseling.
Did Miss Newman take part in any of that?
No,
Did you tell her about it?
this last one, no, I don't believe so. The interest dropped off very rapidly and it's constantly me, approaching and trying to have conversations and it was consistently ignored. Same with the invitations, so it started to taper.
What kind of behaviors do you see out of William?
William can be incredibly sweet, but he also, I would say for his age, he's more emotional and he struggles with controlling his emotions and understanding his emotions. And he can be very aggressive and violent, and he can have those outbursts. And that's the part that concerns me the most. It's not just his focus in school from bouncing around everything, but also because he's becoming more violent with other students, sometimes siblings. Just because he does struggle, or he has struggled with that. I've worked with him a lot on controlling his emotions and what's okay, what's not. But
How does William behave when it's time to go to mom's house?
it's a struggle every time, especially over the last probably 6 weeks, 8 weeks or so. He, he says he doesn't want to go.
Objection, Judge, to what William says.
And he can't testify to what he says, just
Pardon?
have to testify to how he behaves.
Right, sustain the objection.
Understood. He cowers, sometimes he hides or he tries to run out the door so he doesn't have to go over there. He began-
Objection to his speculation, but I think, again, he can testify to what behaviors he sees, but he can't narrate as to what those behaviors indicate.
And I think what you're assigning what you believe to be the reason why he does it, and that's a subjective thing on your part.
I understand. When Monica would come and say, "Hey, William, it's time to go," instead of him running to the car, he would sneak outside, whether going through his window or the door. And I would catch him and bring him back in sometimes, or I'd have a talk with him saying, "Hey, you're gonna go see Millie, you're gonna go scare a puppy, you can go there," or, "Hey, mom's got a new trampoline for you, you can go over there." And then he would be in tears, he'd be very upset, visibly upset anyway.
Okay, and this has been going on for the last 6 to 8 weeks, you said?
It's progressively worse for the last 6 to 8 weeks, but, the last 3-4 months at least.
Now, as far as parenting, when you guys work together, who did the majority of parenting responsibilities fall to?
It flip-flopped. So initially, when she and I got together and first had kids, I was the only one working, and she stayed at home with the children. I still did the majority of like the cooking, but she did like the laundry. We had a pretty good split. But anytime it came like to discipline or working with emotional with the kids or things like that, that was always my role, like development. She definitely made sure they were safe. You know, she did a great job. Make sure that the core necessities were taken care of, as far as laundry and.
Did something change?
Yes, she entered law enforcement, and the roles at home shifted pretty dramatically, and she pulled away more from those the other half role, and by that I mean what I was putting in, what I was expecting, and our communication of expectations became different, became blurred there, and so I was making pretty much all the meals, especially at dinner time. And then I would, speak to the kids. I would discipline the kids. I would take them out to do things. Some things we would do together. And I would encourage her to still spend time with the kids, go take them out. But that was a rarity. So it just, she pulled away, and she would stay predominantly in the bedroom, whether it was on the phone or video game or whatnot. And then just kind of yell at the kids across the house in that fashion. And that was another tension point that we would argue about.
Now, you have 2 kids from your previous marriage, is that correct?
I have 3, but 2, one's out of the cold.
And did Monica take on the mother role for those children?
Initially, yes. Yes, when we first got together, when they were itty bitty, she did. But then coming closer to her in the workforce, that it all fell apart. There were no more, I can't recall a single time where she would say, "Hey, how was your day?" Or "I love you," or "Hey, let me go take you to do something," or "How are you doing in school?" or anything like that. It just didn't exist.
Since she moved out, how many times has she attempted to see these kids?
She's not attempted to see them at all.
Didn't she text one time trying to take them to the zoo?
She did offer to take them to the zoo, but never to come see them.
And when was that?
Just a couple weeks ago,
You ever told her she can't talk to kids or can't come get them?
No, ma'am, I've always encouraged just a loving household, even if it's 2 separate houses, we can still be the same great team that we've always been. That shouldn't affect anything.
And now, your work schedule, what does that look like now?
What does it look like now?
Yes.
I have a very flexible schedule, that as long as I get my 40 in, it doesn't matter what hours of work, but typically it's somewhere around 8 to 3 or something like that. Monday through Friday.
So you're not working overnights anymore?
Well, I do have 6 overnight shifts left, that I am committed to, but after I begin my new role.
And before those shifts, they rotated, is that right?
Yes, ma'am, every 3 months.
Every few months. So, and was it accurate, the description of the 2-3-2 schedule?
That's about as easy as they can make it for people that aren't working in.
What time do the kids go to school?
The school or the bus?
What time do they go to the bus?
They go to the bus at about 6:40 when the bus comes. 6:30, 6:40, depends how quick they're running that day.
So when you worked overnight shifts, what time did you typically get home?
I would usually get home about a few minutes before the bus would run. I'd say 5. If I got lucky, I got a little bit more than.
And then after you got off work, or I guess before you went back to work in those overnight shifts, what duties did you have with the kids?
I mean, they know as soon as they get home, it's knock out the homework, make sure anything's like, it's taken care of, any behavior problem at school. And then it's, getting dinner all rock and roll. Usually I've already kind of got it started, but getting that pretty much wrapped up so they can eat, and then shortly thereafter is when I have to leave for work.
Come on, pass the
During your
witness.
marriage, did Miss Newman cook dinner often?
I would say often, sometimes, that's me looking for it.
Now, you heard the testimony about you harassing her. Have you been allowed to speak to your kids when she's had these children?
No, ma'am.
Do you call and ask to talk to them?
I don't call anymore because I know she has a busy schedule, everything, so I just send her a message. Hey, I'd like to talk to the kids, or they, the kids call.
Do those just go ignored?
Yes, ma'am. Now they do. Used to not be. But
And when you have children, do you allow them to call their mom freely?
yes, ma'am, anytime they want, we call them based on their plenty of times.
Does she call and initiate any phone calls with kids?
No, ma'am.
Kids have a routine and schedule at your house?
Yes, ma'am.
What'd that look like?
As soon as they get off the bus, like I said, we all sit around the kitchen table area, and everybody works on homework, finishes work, reading the books, we make sure all that's taken care of. And then, like I said, we address any problems that we had or issues from school, both good and bad. We also address the good things, but then we transition into, household that big, we kind of cycle through who's doing what at what time. So especially if there's something like a sport event going on, we have to be at the ballpark or whatever, then we're cycling, hey, you're eating while you're in the shower, and then we're swapping around. But if there's none of that going on, then we all sit there and eat, and then it's clean up, all the chores and everything, get showered, and then we either read, or we, play some kind of game, or we do a family movie. Until it's time for the worship to get done.
Now, speaking of extracurriculars, what extracurriculars do your children do?
Children have always been very active, play football, baseball, basketball, softball, and then with the advice of the counselor, put William in boxing to really help his aggression, but very active kids. And then they get taken to Paris a lot for swimming, or summertime and spend at the lake. But yeah, pretty much every sport that Stark County has to offer.
Who's been responsible for taking the kids to extracurriculars?
Over the last 6 months, or since they were in school, in sports.
Over the last 6 months, you can tell me.
Over the last, yeah, since Monica's left, it's been, mostly put on me to get them there. Now, sometimes because my, family is very close knit, very involved in ballpark, I have several, whether it's my sister with all her kids, and we'll share kids sometimes, to get to which ballpark, I have so many kids, sometimes we're Woodlawn or sometimes we're home. So, but yeah, mostly put on me.
Have you noticed an issue with the kids' school weeks or schoolwork on the times that the mother has had the children?
Yes, ma'am. We've had conversations with the teachers about it.
Kids specify what they said.
Right. Fair enough. Yes. I've noticed that there's several times where there's, homework assignments missing or the folder missing or, homework assignments not signed off on, the reading's not completed. Or assignments not completed. Sometimes it's just a 1 day, 2 day kind of thing, but then sometimes it's an entire week. Nothing's been signed off on or good.
You think these children would benefit from a week on, week off schedule?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. What kind of schedule are you suggesting?
I believe that if they're with me for the school year, that way they keep the routine, especially William with his struggles, emotionally, everything, and they have the support of their siblings there too. But they have a very structured environment, especially with my new transition in my job. I'm gonna be there for every breakfast, get them on school every morning. I'll be there when we get home to every night. And then I am 100% open to any time that Monica wants to come get them. I told her from the get-go. I mean, if she has time off, she's home. I'm getting them, spend time with them. They're your kids. Take them hiking. Oh, very good. But if you want to have
Take them
everyone in
hiking.
the house,
Just bring them back.
I'll go to the gym. So, there.
No, it's not
have
my
you
birthday. My birthday's
given
in
her that
March. She's
option
talking
in the
about a
past?
snake.
Yes, ma'am.
Has she taken it?
No.
Pass the fucking witness, please.
As far as support goes, you heard her testimony. She's not provided any support. Is that correct?
Hold on. I believe I just misspoke. She has taken advantage of that. She came after she finished training. I know she came and she grabbed them one night. I can't recall any other time.
But it's one. And then, as far as support goes, you heard her testimony. Is that true that you've been providing all the support for children when you've had them?
Yes,
Who took them school clothes shopping this year?
I took them in June.
Did she help with any of that?
She did drop off some clothes after I asked her for a couple months. She dropped off in September. I'm not sure if you want to look the exact date of this.
That's great. You can just give me a round call.
Either September or October, she did drop off some clothing for witness girl.
Pass the witness.
Thank you, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, that's where we'll end today. Whew. Whew. Thank God. You guys, I appreciate you. We're going to be back at it tomorrow around the same time. We'll watch the rest of the cross-examination for him. Plus, we'll probably get a ruling tomorrow. We went longer than I thought we would today. So we'll probably make it through tomorrow. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of your support. Could I say anymore? Probably, if I just stayed here all day. Thanks, Mark. Thanks to everybody who's been here. Seriously, appreciate y'all. Do me a favor, remember that I love you, and I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. tomorrow, part 2. Okay, bye. Bye.
Down and ready to ride.